Got a great tweet. Hey, welcome everybody to the SideQuest, starring the world's most popular podcast host, Aaron, Scratty Bones, Twitch affiliate Kelly.
I am highly sought after.
Yes,
every day I log into my email. I got like 300 emails from everybody being like, "Hey, can be on my podcast." And it's like, "Dog, what's your podcast?" And then they're like, "Well, we don't really have a name for it yet, and it's not on iTunes or anything, but you know, it's really good." And I say no.
Did you? And I'm Dolly Dimofsky, by the way.
Hey,
I am Dolly, figuring out how to use the internet. Dimofsky. Yeah, exactly. There you go. Speaking of funny things, so I got an email from a gaming. I don't know if it's a gaming company or what. Let me see if I can dig it up. It was horrendous, mostly because here we go. It's in the trash actually. Whatever. It was like a porn game essentially. They sent us an email and everybody was freaking out about it. Yeah, not super wonderful, but hey, it's Friday night. Here we are. We're still hanging out. You're still working hardcore, and it's been crazy for you, I'm assuming.
Last month, like April, last month was the third busiest month my store has ever had.
Holy shit.
We are 8 days into May, and I'm already on track to almost beat last month.
So, wow. I think I lost my voice for a second there. So, hold on. There's a little bit of background that I wanted to ask about.
Yeah,
wasn't your store, your profession of selling vape, e-cigarette equipment in danger of shutting down just a few months ago?
So that's the other store.
Okay.
and that happened.
Oh, did it? Okay, all right.
The other store's still open, but they can't sell over a certain amount of like milligram nicotine vape liquids anymore, and they can't sell anything with flavors in it because they pose a health risk, I guess. But they can still sell tobacco flavors, which are made the exact same way as any other.
Yeah,
flavor.
it's just slightly different flavor.
Yeah. So who do you think's paying for that?
Right.
Yeah. So business on that side of things has been down. Business on my side has been great. Weed's legal, man. I'm fucking rolling in it.
Literally. Wow, that was a good joke. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good pun. Well, that's good. That's good. Now, especially, I can imagine. I mean, it's been legal here in Michigan since last year, and yeah, it's those dispensaries have stayed open throughout this whole thing. So it's a.
Do you know what a dab is?
I'm a dad.
A dab, DAB.
Oh, is it like the hand thing that kids do?
Nope. Well, yes, but no. So it's basically crystallized THC.
Okay.
It's essentially something like 4 times more potent than like smoking a joint.
All right.
So the guy that runs the other store smokes weed, but he's never done that before. We were really low on $5 bills, and everything's still closed because of the plague. So he couldn't go to the bank. So he was like customers would come in, he'd be like, "Hey, pay with fives." Like, pay with fives.
Oh no.
And one of the customers was like, "Do a dab with me, and I'll give you all the fives in my wallet." So he So he was like, "I guess." And then the last hour or so that store was open, fucking nonsense. I heard shit falling over there. Last thing I heard from over there was, "Oh, that kicked in immediately," and then just nothing.
Oh man.
I went home for the day. My store's open later than that one on Fridays. I went home for the day. He left the open flag out. Like, he's got a big flag he puts out as, open. He left the store's lights on. I had to triple check to make sure he remembered to lock everything. Like, dude was out of his mind.
Jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, no, my store's been crazy busy. So
that's good. That's good. Yes, this pandemic has been really weird for all these different businesses. It's been interesting to see what's been thriving and what has not been thriving.
It's good, and I hate it. My like I've been running that store. I opened that store for almost 3 years ago now, I guess. And that store has survived on some amount of like low cost purchases, but usually like a lot or like a couple of like really big cost purchases.
Sure.
And now, so I got into the habit of like I read every day. Like I'm reading, I don't know, 30 to 40 million words a month.
Wow.
Just for fun. Like whatever I can get my hands on. Like books, I got a Kindle, like I read shit online. And the last 2 months, last 3 months, it's like I get a customer in the store like every 10 minutes. Like I'm not reading. That's killing me.
That's like you've forgotten how to read.
It's just like I'll get like half a paragraph into something. Excuse me. And then a customer comes in. Obviously, I got to deal with the customer. And then the customer leaves, and I sit down. And I find the paragraph where I was, and it's not like I can bookmark it because it's on a computer. So I find the paragraph where I was, and then I got to reread the paragraph, get my headspace back in like exactly where I was, and then I get like halfway through the paragraph, and then another fucking customer walks in.
You're like, God, I want to know what happens to Daenerys.
Like, are you buying that $700 thing I got up on the shelf? No, then get the fuck out and let me get back to my book.
You're becoming quite the learned man. Well, you were up until the last few weeks, so at least there's that.
Yeah.
At least you're still employed, so that's good.
Now I'm getting stupider.
Nah, are you? You're getting stupider. I like that. I'm getting stupider. I've been super busy just with freaking work. I haven't been able to. We'll talk about what we've been playing, but we just wanted to mention it's been tougher right now. Surprisingly, not surprisingly. See, I'm getting dumber too. I'm getting stupider too. Surprisingly, because it's for some of us that are work from home or work in businesses that have legalized marijuana or whatever, it is. Some of us have been even busier, and my situation, I was talking about this on Twitter, is that a lot of times I was thinking when this whole thing first started, and we work, I think March 13th was a Friday, and that was when they told us you got to work from home from now on. So I said that whole weekend I cleaned up the office and set it up to kind of work like how I was working at my actual office at the company. So my day was set up the same way, and I was waking up at the same time. Slowly, I realized that that's not the case, because not only do I have a family to take care of, and my wife has been working. She's really only home for a couple of weeks or so, but my daughter still needs to get up and do her online schooling. So I've been getting her ready and helping her get ready in the mornings, making her breakfast and lunch and things like that. And so I'm not the only one who does that. Now that people are home, they've got dogs to take care of and pets. They've got house stuff to take care of. It's popping up, and so my day went from like 7:50 or 7:30 to 4, which was my normal time, to like 7 o'clock in the morning to like, I literally just answered an email right before we started the show. So from like 7 to 9, and it's been bonkers. And it's not like I'm consistently working, because then I could just stop. It's I'm about to burp too. I can just stop at like 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or whatever. No, I'm working for like 15 minutes, and then I'll have like somebody's asking me for some information. That call goes for like 10 minutes, and then I stop and go, help my daughter or something, and I come back, and a half hour has gone by, and I'm making her lunch. So it's been kind of this real weird broken day. So I haven't been able to like really sit down and play too much stuff, and it's really been sort of this last week and a half that's been this crazy. But we're making do. So I haven't been playing as much as I wanted to. I thought I was gonna be like, it's gonna be awesome, wheeling and dealing. I'm gonna be playing games nonstop. And like I said, those first 2-3 weeks of this quarantine, this stay-at-home order, I was able to do that, but not anymore. It has withered up. But I've been playing stuff. I want to hear what you've been playing first. Kelly's first.
Yeah. So like I've been absurdly busy. Like you were just saying how like you just answered an email just before we started the podcast. I have a tab open right now that's with one of my wholesalers for my store, because I'm still doing orders and trying to keep everything in stock. Like it's just nonstop. But I had a couple of minutes, and I played just the very tiniest first bit of XCOM Chimera Squad.
Ooh, all right.
This is probably a weird thing to say about it, and it's not a complaint, really. That is a really claustrophobic game. That
really,
yeah, it's just like they tightened it up so the combat's faster. They have a new mechanic in it where like when you engage in a mission, you breach like because you're a pseudo police force basically. Like that's the best that's the best analog, like a SWAT team. Like a SWAT team, and so you breach in, which is really fast and lets you pick off some enemies really quick. And then you play through the mission, and it plays pretty much like XCOM, like a tactics game. And a mission seems to quite often have like multiple stages instead of it being like one big level. So it's like you bust into a room and then you do the combat and it goes really quickly. And then it's like, oh, there's more guys in the next room. And then you blow through the goddamn wall. And then that's the second stage. So it just feels faster, even if the amount of stuff you're doing in any given mission isn't. And like, if you've played XCOM, like, XCOM 1, you've got the globe and, you pick your mission, you go around. XCOM 2, you've got the whole world that you're flying your ship around on by clicking on things. And so, XCOM 1 felt big and XCOM 2 feels bigger. And then Chimera Squad, you've got it's a city map with like a handful of grids on it. And it's just small. Like, it just feels so much smaller. And, mechanically, it's not really. How many countries did you interface with in XCOM? 10, 12, something like that? Regions like like North America had, 2 regions? You had Canada and something like that. So that's like, mechanically, it's pretty much that, but it just feels smaller. So it's a weird feeling. It's like, oh, I'm playing XCOM. Oh, this feels, ugh. It feels claustrophobic. Like I feel the walls are closing in, but no, it's fun. Like the combat's tighter, so it just flows nicer. You get a bunch of aliens now. You get aliens and humans and hybrids. But you're not just making random characters; they're all named characters, and you're making a squad out of them.
It's different than the previous XComs, that's for sure.
That's kind of cool.
You'd make your
you just make a dude and that'd be your guy, and then depending on how you played him, I guess he would level up a certain way, and then you would pick his skills. But no, this is like you got like this guy, like he's a muton, like one of the aliens, like he's on your team, and it's like, well, he's got a lot of health and he's really strong, and his abilities make him really strong.
This takes place like relatively soon after.
It's a while after, I think.
I thought it was only like 10 years at most, 5-10 years.
I guess compared
to SideQuesting.com to find out.
Compared to the jump from 1 to 2, because I think that was 20 years.
Sure.
But yeah, anyway, like this takes, it's far enough away that like XCOM 2 is like over and done with and the world's been saved. This place takes place in a place called City 31, I think is the name of it. Like some fucking generic name.
5 years after XCOM 2.
5 year. So yeah, it's a city filled with aliens and humans and hybrids. And it's like one of the only cities that didn't get utterly fucked up by the events of XCOM 2. And they all live in peace. And the setup is the mayor of the city is a hybrid. She's like half human, half alien, and she's like a big proponent of everybody living together and it's a good time. And then she gets kidnapped or held hostage, and you blow in to rescue her, and then she gets assassinated. Like you rescue her and they send her off, and then her truck gets blown up by like a car bomb or whatever. So you stick around to figure out what's going on, and they're like, you got to investigate one of these 3 factions. And, they're various different factions. Like one's got to use a lot of robots, and one's like psychics, and one's something else. But,
that game, it's been getting like a lot of good feedback.
It's like I said, I barely played like the intro. So I'm not heavily invested in it. So I don't know a lot of the nuance yet, but yeah, it plays really well. You can definitely screw yourself over if you pick your team badly, because all the characters are different, and you're building a team out of this roster, and you pick 4, and I guess you can.
Is that Epic Game Store, or is that Steam?
It's on Steam. Okay. It might be on the Epic Game Store. I have it on Steam, but
but it's only PC right now, I think, right?
I do believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
a different visual style too, right?
They went with they went with like instead of it being like actual like video for the cutscenes, it's just like art.
Yes,
it's like a headshot of a character, and then voiced over, and then it swaps to the next one and it's voiced over. The game was only $20 or something like that, maybe $30, something like that. But
it was like 24, but on sale for 20, and then I think it jumped back up to 24, whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is. Like it's not it's not priced like a full XCOM game, but fuck it, like that just makes it more worth it. It seems really good.
Sweet. I was looking forward to it. I have I played a little bit of the original XCOM, I think way back on the Xbox 360. When everybody was naming their friends after that. I remember the old Xbox fanboy site on Joystick, and everyone was kind of swapping names and stuff. And little bit I played back then, and I kind of fell off of XCOM. I followed it from a distance, but I know it's coming out. XCOM 2 is coming out for Switch, so I might pick that up. And then they announced the Chimera Squad, and I'm thinking, holy shit, there's a whole new game. And, it just leads me to believe that they're probably working on XCOM 3. And it's likely a next-gen title, more than likely, because, you wouldn't be hyping up this much XCOM stuff out of the blue for nothing. So at least my thought. So XCOM Chimera Squad, so you recommend it. You're liking it.
Yeah, totally.
Did you play Gears of War Tactics by any chance?
I haven't. I
hear that one is really good too. Like tactics games, all of a sudden are.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to play that one yet, but I have been watching. I have been watching some streamers play it. That seems really fucking good too.
Yeah. That might be the first Gears of War that I really. I mean, I have every Gears of War, and I think with what is it, Xbox Gold, Games for Gold, they've released every single Gears of War on that one, except for the latest one.
But the Gears Tactics is on
Game Pass, right?
Game Pass. So like,
I've got to get on Game Pass. I've got to get back on.
I keep buying it and letting it lapse.
It happens to me. I have, again, it's because of my stupid backlog that I keep thinking I'm going to clear out this backlog and then hop into that stuff. But my backlog just keeps getting bigger and bigger for no reason whatsoever. I'm now at the point where I've backed off from buying new games. Like I see games that I'm real, like Final Fantasy VII Remake or Gears of War Tactics or Chimera Squad. Normally I'd be like, buy, put it in the cart, buy it. But I've held off just because I want to at least get my backlog under control. I know you and I have talked about that. I'm going to do the whole taster thing. I think probably starting this weekend is just play one game a night, see how I like it. And then if I really like it, I'll stick with it, but I'll do another taste the next day. So we'll see how far that goes. I actually just sold a couple games today, surprisingly. Got rid of a couple. So Chimera Squad, anything else you've been playing?
No, that's pretty much it. I bought that other game I mentioned last week. Troubleshooter. I haven't had a chance to touch that yet, just because I've been so busy. I really honestly, I'm so swamped right now. I probably shouldn't have taken the time to play a little bit of Chimera Squad, but I wanted something to talk about. So
it's funny. Like, so are you getting paid anymore for all this craziness?
Fuck no.
Nope, me neither. In fact, I got docked. I'm down 30% of my pay, and there was a clerical error recently where I got even more, like another 10% on top of that. So my pay for the last like couple weeks was it was docked like 20%. Not docked, but they cut everybody's salary across the board by 20%, and then it was supposed to be another 10%, but I think it was another 30%.
Yeah.
So we all got it was a total clerical error. They messed up, and now they got to go fix it. So my next paycheck will be a little bit better, but I'm actually making less money and working a lot more. Whatever.
So Canada set this thing up called the CERB, which I think I've mentioned before, where you sign up and you get like $2,000 a month if you've been laid off or unemployed or whatever.
We have something similar, and each state is different, but yeah.
So, but it's untaxed. So to be safe,
like
they send you $2,000, and then ideally you take like 500 of it or whatever and stick it in a jar and wait till next tax season, because that's just going to bite you in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So really, you're getting $1,500 to live. I did the math, and I'm pretty sure I would be making more money if I just left my job or forced my boss to lay me off and close the store.
So here in Michigan, you're getting essentially what amounts to right around $950 a week.
Yeah.
If you're unemployed, which is almost like $4,000, close to $4,000, $3,800 a month. Normally it's like $350 a week, and then there's taxes and stuff that they take later on. That's why they tell you be smart and save that stuff. But yeah, so people are getting paid basically $950 a week to sit at home, and especially if you haven't been working, it's great. But a lot of folks who are in the service industry, like it's the first 350 is based on how much you were already making. So it's not like you could have been like like I did, worked at my uncle's ice cream store for like $80 a week or whatever it was back then, and then get bumped up to 950. No, it would be that first 350 is proportional, but the next 600 is guaranteed.
Yeah.
So either way, almost everybody is making way more money, or a lot of people are making more money than they would have, but you're not getting like health benefits. You're not getting a lot of the other benefits that you get from working at a job. And so
the thing we found out, Nova Scotia in terms of jobs, like on the whole, is very seasonal.
Okay.
So like Nova Scotia has a lot of fishermen, but fishing is a season.
Sure.
So a lifetime fisherman, they'll fish the fishing season and then they're on unemployment for 3 months or 6 months or whatever it is. And then they go back and they make however taxes work, like they make so much money fishing that goes into that, and everybody's pretty much okay with it. But that's unemployment is based on hours worked.
Sure.
And if you're taking this because you're not working, come the next time you apply for it, you don't have those hours.
Yeah. Same here in Michigan, and same in a lot of the places. It's like you can only go so far. And I know I have yet to meet anybody who's actually trying to scam the system.
Oh, sure.
But I know people who have talked about it. Like my Facebook feed has folks that are actually, they're hardcore on the right, sort of right-wing thinkers, but they're gladly taking this money and they're gladly staying home. They're like, I'm going to take this money. Why should I go back to work? I'm going to milk this. The government's giving me, $1,000 a week. That's almost as much as I was making when I was working breaking my back at a factory. And the whole time I'm thinking,
hey, like that
only goes so far, right? So you're liking socialism all of a sudden. But that only goes so far. So yeah, there's a whole battle brewing right now, and the government wants to do another $2,000 a month just in general to people. They gave us like a stimulus check. It was like $1,200. That was like a maximum of $1,200.
Yeah, it's a little bit more than what we got. We got double. So we get Canadians who file their taxes every year get a quarter or a quarterly check. Mm-hmm. And I think it's based on your yearly wages.
Holy shit, Daddy's here.
Hey, what's up, Daddy?
Daddy's here, everybody. How's it going?
We're talking about the plague and free money.
Free money.
Yeah. Oh, you gotta love that free money, right?
Yeah.
All you have to do is just to destroy your economy, and you just get a little bit of that free money. I think that's a fair trade.
It's all worth it. I mean, that's the plan, right? That's the pandemic.
The plan. Yes,
God.
Exactly. No.
All right, Jeff, I got you in here. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.
Welcome, Jeff
here with him.
It's great to have you on, my friend. We were just talking about some of the things that we've been playing. Aaron's been playing XCOM Chimera Squad. Which is,
how you liking that? I feel like if I was going to pick that or Gears Tactics, I was going to go with Gears Tactics.
So you're probably right, but it's really good. From everything I've seen, so I haven't played Gears Tactics yet. I've only been watching people streaming it. But from what I've seen versus the little bit I've played of Chimera Squad, that's probably the better choice. But if you really like XCOM, don't really give a shit about Gears, you're not going to go wrong with Chimera Squad. Like it's tight. No. It's tight.
Good. Yeah, it looks good. There's so much to play right now. I was like, it's on my list, but there's a lot coming out. Hang on, I'm gonna go get my kid. Hang on.
No problem. Yeah, there you go. So,
anyway, we get
a hear something like a kid get thrown across the room.
Oh my God! No!
Oh damn! Jesus! Yeah. So money. Yeah.
Yeah, we get a quarterly check. Instead of giving us a big check like I guess Michigan got, we got double the amount of a quarterly check once. So I got $230.
Yeah, this is everybody in the U.S. got it. They were supposed to get it. Some people still haven't gotten theirs. It was supposed to arrive early in like middle of April, but I know a lot of folks. I know a few folks who haven't gotten theirs yet. So, but yeah, it's a complete mess right now. We have the highest percentage of unemployed in the U.S. The highest percentage of Americans unemployed since the Great Depression. And next week it'll probably. They're really oh shit, and he almost like falls over. Next week could very well break that number, but I know a lot of the factories and businesses in the Detroit area are going back to work. So, but yeah,
Jeff, that looked like a WCW versus NWO Revenge intro.
I do have a pretty mean N64 energy about me. Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, I definitely do. Yeah,
I have a Virtual Boy energy about me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Did you guys see that? Like, oh, here's the your birthday month is the one console you get to play for the rest of your life, and I got Jaguar, and that's
dude,
I didn't see that. What was August?
It's like
I don't remember.
Stones.
Yeah, but it was definitely better than the Jaguar because it was like the Virtual Boy was like July or something like that.
Was it? Okay.
And then the rest were good consoles. So
okay, that works. That works.
How are you guys feeling about like going back to work and stuff?
I've been working.
I never left.
Yeah,
my store's still open.
Well, you're essential. You work at a head shop, so I mean,
I was telling Dali this. Not only do I work at a head shop, but my store just had its third best month ever since we opened, and this month is on par to beat it.
Of course,
yeah,
because everybody needs fucking weed. Right
I mean, you guys have like a strain named after Animal Crossing or something.
I could check. I know.
If not, you're gonna be selling that Nook.
Yeah, get that Nook.
Yeah, get that Nook.
Jack. August is the Wii.
What? Huh?
I just looked up that picture. August is the Wii.
All right. What have you been playing, Jack?
You do that boom blocks.
Yeah, you guys.
Can you guys hear my daughter playing the piano behind me?
Yeah, that's your daughter. That's your daughter.
Yeah, you guys you can hear her.
It's great. It's fine.
It's sure. I can try this NVIDIA. This is actually beautiful.
So you have the NVIDIA magic. Okay.
I was going to try the NVIDIA magic. Let me try to put that on. I bet it doesn't work for this, but let's give it a shot.
I haven't seen this in action yet, so let's see what happens.
Of course, she stops playing the minute you started mentioning it.
No, I muted myself. I'm going to mute myself until I can get it working. Hang on. This one honestly might break it, but we'll see. We'll see.
We've broken the matrix. Yeah.
This wouldn't be the first time one of the people on the show have broken this particular website trying to use a feature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How many weeks did it take Tom to get the green screen working? 3?
3 weeks. 3, and then he would not join without the green screen working. I'm gonna just use the fucking snap cam, dude.
Okay, so she did stop playing now, so now we can't even test it. How do I sound though?
Actually, you sound a little bit better.
Okay, now she's playing now. Can you hear it now?
No, barely.
Barely.
Yeah,
barely. I think we're doing. Yeah, I think we're okay. All right.
That's awesome. Nice.
Okay. Yeah, that is magic. All right. So yeah. So you guys, you are both. You never stopped going to work, Aaron. Dali, did you? Were you going into an office?
No, I was working from home this whole time, and I was just telling Aaron, my hours went from like 7:30 to 4 to like 7 a.m. to midnight. I mean, I never stopped. Yeah.
What is going on with that? Like I work now. Like we got a pay cut. We all agreed to take a pay cut.
Same with us. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Through this time, and it's like okay, it's better than
that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We'll do it. But it's like you could work a little bit less.
Mm-hmm.
No. We're working so much more.
It's got it for me. I feel like it's got to be because, that's what I was telling Aaron was. Everybody is home now, so your like life duties are now a part of your day. So you're like before. I'm working my straight, 8, 10, 12 hour, whatever. My shift is there and I know what time I get in. I know what time I'm done. Now I'm, making breakfast for someone. I'm helping them with homework real quick. I got to go check the mail or I got to, there's certain things throughout the day that get edited and everybody else is doing it. So nobody's schedules line up. So I think a lot of it is just trying to line up other people's schedules and that makes your days even longer.
Yep. Definitely. Yeah. But in that time, I've been playing some games.
What can you talk about besides all that crazy breaking news that you've been doing lately?
No, I had a whole thing.
Oh, you had a whole thing?
I don't. We can pretend that didn't happen. We can break the news. I've been playing SnowRunner.
Okay, so I've heard a lot of things about SnowRunner.
I love this game. So they've done a really good job of I think taking like if you guys ever saw like Spin Tires, which was that's what the series used to be. Like the GIF that sold that game was like the truck driving through the mud and the tires messing up the mud and deforming that terrain in a really realistic way. That's what like, okay, I need to play that. That looks awesome to me. I love the idea of like tires actually physically interacting with the world and leaving a trail and leaving like, the result of you driving through a place, having an action on that place. they have built on top of that technology a really solid game where I just want to continue pushing these trucks through this impossible muddy, ground, even if they're going to get stuck 50 yards after I start them up. It's on the Games Beat the Sides today, which I actually haven't posted, so no one's heard this. It's like football in that it's a game of inches, where like every single yard you get counts. It's just, and it feels so good just to push forward. You see a tree up there, and you've been trying to get past that tree for 10 minutes, and when you finally pull that off, it feels really good.
Interesting.
It's really satisfying to be like, I know I have to get this truck from point A to point B. And as it gets stuck, I have like a garage full of trucks that I can figure out how to combine them to get this one truck to its destination. And that means like once that truck's stuck, you zoom back to the garage, you pick up just the Chevy pickup Scout truck. And maybe now that I've put some mud tires on there and it's got maybe a beefier engine, I'm going to drive it past the truck that's stuck, try to get it, up ahead in a place and on some secure ground that isn't like, super muddy or whatever, super snowy, and then winch the other truck and try to see if I can pull it up and out of its rut. And that's again, super satisfying. And the way that the technology matches up with this gameplay, where when you do see like really messed up ground in front of you, when you look at it and you're like, that ground looks wet, that mud looks like it's deep, and I could see that there's some like deep tracks where like the ground is like crumbled into the spot where I drove through before, and these are the tracks I left before. And it's like, how do I get through this spot that's really like narrow part of the road without falling down into that same rut, with my tires getting stuck in that same place, because I've already destroyed the ground there. And in real life, like you might do this where like if you are ever like driving a car off road and you see something like that, you try to like angle your tires slightly so that they're pulling at the ground a little bit, and they're like they're not like going straight into the rut. They're sort of like going along that path, but they're pulling on the sides of that canal on the way through. And doing that, like you see that, you're like, I know I need to do that, and you pull it off, and it all works like you think it should because the physics is so accurate. It's I just want to be playing this game nonstop. It all feels so good. It's so well done.
It's really amazing how the aspects of those like farming simulator games have kind of worked their way into other style games like the Spin Tire series, and that whole kind of strange aspect of physics and realism are finding new ways to be, I don't want to say exploited, but new ways to be included in other types of genres.
Yes, yeah, and I'm all for it.
Do you ever just get a truck stuck on purpose? You see like a big mud pile and you're just like, I'm gonna drive right into that and try and winch myself out?
Well, there's always like that's one of the cool things, is like one of the ways you unlock new trucks is like they are already just stuck in really, really dangerous parts of the world. Like you can buy trucks, you can earn currency and buy the trucks, in-game currency by completing missions, and that's fine. But it's like you want to go explore the world because you might find upgrades, but you also might just find trucks that you can go out, pull out, and then now they're in your garage. Not everyone. Some of these trucks are like part of quests where it's like, hey, my truck got stuck, and can you help me get it and deliver it to me? But some of the trucks that you find are they just join your thing. And like one of the best parts, one of the best moments I had in this game was finding one of those trucks like out in a part of the world that you would try to avoid. And like the conceit here is in this first level of Michigan is that there was a huge rainstorm and there was a huge flood. So everyone's trucks are kind of like all over the place. So I went and I found this truck, I hooked it up, I winched it up, and we just dragged it out of the mud. And it took me a really long time to make that happen, but we pulled it off and it felt really good. It also has multiplayer, which I haven't done much of, but it's worked. My kid's yelling at me again. I'm going to go do this. You guys, vamp. I'm going to go take her upstairs.
We're to vamp. Okay, so SnowRunner. Yeah, but it sounds really cool. And again, I've heard a lot of people talking about this game too. It's been weird. Games that I would not have expected, folks, or styles like Gears of War Tactics, XCOM Chimera Squad, and now SnowRunner have sort of bubbled up, and everybody's playing them. I mean, yeah, obviously you still got the Animal Crossing, you still got the Final Fantasies, but it's kind of interesting that these other types of games are bubbling up as well.
SnowRunner is a weird one. Like I'm not surprised even slightly that Jeff is playing this, just because my entire exposure to the first game was watching Jeff's stream.
Okay.
So Jeff playing SnowRunner doesn't shock me at all. But everybody else playing it is just like, that's weird.
Huh. Yeah. It's the conversation is growing quite a bit about the game. So I like that Jeff has his cycle in the back there.
I gotta give
I'm not coughing, by the way. I don't have the Rona. I'm all this drinking that I've been doing. Oh, here, all this drinking that I've been doing like the last couple of hours, and I went for a nasty run outside. So I'm not congested. It's just my throat is actually kind of closed up a little bit. So
listen, whatever you got to tell yourself, like that's fine. You got some tax thing going on where you can't admit to having.
So I just can't clear out my throat very well. So that's what this is.
He has the COVID. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah,
that's that he's denying
games.
it. He's denying it, but we all know.
We know.
The Snow Runner, nice.
Yeah, it's I was really looking forward to it. I'm really happy that it delivered. It's also like really, it's really jam packed with stuff to do.
Are you streaming it?
So I want to. I want to be streaming it, but yeah, you said am I streaming it? No, I wish I was. I mostly played before the review embargo, and I've played a little bit here and there since then. But mostly, my setup is I have it on the ultra wide right here with the.
First, I love that Aaron just fucking goes right to the bottle, man. Forget shots, forget pouring it in a cup. I'm just taking the fireball right to the bottle.
What the fuck am I gonna dirty a glass for?
Yeah.
Next thing, I think I'm gonna imagine him just like picking up a NyQuil bottle next, and just chugging that.
One step closer to disinfectant.
Yeah, I got it set up on the ultra wide with the Logitech wheel over here, and it's not set up for streaming. But I want to be streaming it.
Sure.
And but it is a good game for that because it's like you can go back to it day after day after day for a really long time and never like really run out of the content until like you get through all the levels. But it takes there's a ton to do, and it really will last a long time. So it's really good for that.
So you've got like the actual like the whole driving setup, like all the peripherals and stuff. You got the wheel and the
most
pedals
of them. Yeah, the wheel and the pedals.
Are you
the stick shifter too?
Yeah. Are you one of the people that's messing with that iRacing thing? That thing is blown up in popularity.
I did actually just download it though. I was going to give it a shot. I don't know if that's. I like the games where this Logitech wheel has like a 900 degree turn where just you going. Mm-hmm. That's not because it's for like indie racing or F1. Those cars do not go 900 degrees.
It's very tight.
Yeah. So it's like this wheel is clearly made for like American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator, Farming Simulator, and the other. I mean, it will work with those other games, absolutely. But the slow games are more my speed, and I find them more satisfying. Playing an actual racing game with a racing wheel is very stressful.
It's a different type of experience, and I've done it. I'm big into some of the racing games, like even Project Cars to an extent, and there were a couple, Assetto Corsa was like that, and now you look at the iRacing stuff, and I've kind of fucked around with the iRacing stuff a little bit. I never had the gear to really truly make it, run well, but the little that I played of it, I mean, you want that sort of precision, and you want that real that actual simulation of this. I mean, we've been getting their press releases for like 8 years, 9 years, however long they've been around. Just iRacing announces this and this, and you're like, okay, fine, I got it, iRacing, I got it. Now it's like, turn on ESPN and ABC, and there's iRacing. Turn on.
It really does a great job with the presentation.
I
see why they're using it. It works really well for that stuff. Yeah.
And then one of your drivers starts dropping slurs, and
I mean, you saw like there was like the big blow up in iRacing in like the last one where the guy was out of contention, so he's like, oh, I'm gonna go take the young kid out, let's go take him out, and then he pretends like he didn't do it on purpose, and it's like they had been taking it seriously for 6 races, and then all of a sudden at the very end of the final race of the series, they're like, oh, now it's just a video game now, and people are like, this is kind of messed up, man.
Well, the craziest part is that and it's fascinating, the iRacing community all treat it like it's real. They always have.
Right. Yeah. So, and then if you turn around and if you're a bastard, you'll just get banned. They just won't let you play. So but it's weird to see the drama of like a sports thing sort of come into this game, and then people have to figure out is it just a game, or should we? Because the actual thing we do, even though it involves real things going through a real space, is also just a game. Yep. Like it's just we're just playing a game just in real life. It's not a video game; it's just a game. But so where's the line here? should we get mad at this guy for being a dick and ruining someone else's race when he was gonna win? He was gonna win. So it's like, yeah, it's fascinating. I wonder, like, my gut here says, like, for a lot of this stuff is they just know they're gonna just hope that things go back to normal, so they don't actually have to figure any of that stuff out. And they'll just try to ignore it and forget it ever happened. Which I know a lot of people who are passionate about sports, that's how they want to do it.
Good news. I heard on the news that America's opening back up this week. So
that's it. We started. Good job.
We opened here in Highlands Ranch, like one of the first counties in Colorado, basically, to open back up. And it was like this. It was like, oh, Colorado had like the most cases reported today. Highlands Ranch is back open. It's like, what? Wait, what?
Wait, huh?
I've always worked at home, so it's fine. And then Steph is a teacher, and they're not going back to school this year, so she's at home, so we're fine. But we're lucky.
Same.
But it's like,
I can't go to the grocery store.
Yeah,
they close before my store does because they're on plague hours, and my store's just on normal hours. I'm so hungry.
You gotta do one of those mobile. Do an order and then just go pick it up first thing in the morning. Do you open before they do as well?
He's not
gonna wake up.
I'm gonna wake up.
Okay. Yeah.
I made a whole pizza. I'm just eating a whole pizza.
That's it.
That looks good. That looks really good.
Yeah. I make a pizza.
So what else have you guys been playing? You guys been talking about anything else other than the Chimera?
So he's been playing Chimera, yeah. That's basically it for him. I've been, like I mentioned, I've been playing Astral Chain, kind of getting back into that, which I still really like. It's a platinum game on the Switch, and it's really good. I'm curious of when it'll arrive on other consoles, and I have, you have the feeling that it's a platinum game. It'll show up on Steam first, and then PS4 and Xbox One and so on.
I like Bayonetta 2 never did, so I don't know.
True, Bayonetta 2 never did.
You're right. It's but Wonderful 101 has.
Exactly.
Who knows? I think you don't know with Platinum. I think it's possible, but you don't know. And a lot of it might just come down to like whether Nintendo wants to like re-up the deal or something.
But I'm liking it. It's. I mean, I love the visual style. It's really cool. It's an anime style, and it's stuff that I think Platinum does really well. And it really feels like they had a lot more creative freedom in this game than maybe Bayonetta 3, or Bayonetta 2. It feels like Nintendo had a little bit more to say about Bayonetta 2 than Platinum, and this Astral Chain feels really open for them. So anyways, I'm really digging it. It works great in handheld and on the big screen. I haven't noticed any major issues, I think, but I'm only like maybe like 7-8 hours in the game. The whole game's only like 20 plus hours, I think, but I dig it. A Fold Apart, which I've been kind of raving about the last week as I started playing it. Great indie game. Saw it at PAX East 2019. Kind of was literally walking past a booth and saw this kind of cool paper craft stuff, and I started talking to them, and it's just a super charming little game. And I mentioned it last week. A charming little indie game. That again, you're folding pieces of paper to get the character from one end of the screen to the next, and the way you fold it, the way you adjust the screen, you do double folds, triple folds, you unfold, you do flip to the back side of the paper for the world. It's really cool, really interesting, and it's basically, again, it's two sides of the paper, two sides of a love story, and the whole goal is to get these two people back together again and kind of complete their story. And it's really nice. And it shows there's actually, again, a lot of like this personal, individual, emotional level stuff, which I didn't kind of expect. It's very poppy in color, but I'm still digging that game. I've completed it. I don't want to kind of ruin it, but it's got a really nice sort of actual narrative arc.
Speaking of bringing people back together, Gun. Hey, Jeff, you play that Final Fantasy VII? You playing that?
I started it. I played the first probably 2 hours or so, but then I started getting those review games. So
you've gotten out of Midgar? Is that at this point? Yeah.
I'm still at the beginning of the game. I'm doing like the weird side quests that like happen right there. I might have just finished those weird side quests, like find the cats or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think I like did the next story mission, like kick stuff off right after that. So I want to get back to it because I was like, this game's actually pretty solid. I usually don't jive with Final Fantasy games. I don't have any problem with them, but I just usually I'll bounce off if I give them a shot. I think this one would get its hooks into me if I had any goddamn time.
Sure.
But of course I don't. Also, the one game I am playing right now, which this was a mix-up, and I shouldn't have even had it, was Nintendo was supposed to send Mike, our reviews editor, Mike Minotti at GameSpeed.com, supposed to send him, what's the next Nintendo game coming out? Xenoblade or whatever?
Xenoblade, yeah, the original one. Yeah,
they accidentally sent him the code for Clubhouse games.
Oh, shit.
And they're like, hey, they're like, he's like, I think he went to tell me, like, oh, this is the wrong code. And they're like, they're like, oh, okay, we'll just keep that. We'll get you the right code. But there's no one, like, we don't have the embargo information on that yet, so just hold off. But
yeah,
it's Clubhouse games. I think
you know what it is.
Okay, you know what? I played the original Clubhouse games on the DS, and that's fantastic.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah,
take from that what you will.
Talk about that game. It's so good. It's just this collection of games, and it's it's like really basic, like sort of world games, like things that like chess and darts and Macala, and the reason it works so well is they teach you it, and it's like got a lot of that Nintendo polish where it's like they're presenting it really well, and then the actual physical act of playing it is like when you put like in Macala, which is like this game. I don't know if was vaguely familiar with it until I was just playing it many years ago on the DS, and the actual physical act of like putting the marbles into the little rivets on the thing feels so good. It sounds really good. And
back on the DS, of course.
Back on the DS.
Yeah.
And I would imagine that if it was on the Switch, they would also have this really good intro to each of these games where they like do like really like little skits with like really normal people and with really good voice acting where they're sort of like talking about like the history of the game and how it works. And not even necessarily, this isn't even necessarily the tutorial, I would imagine. And it like this is like just them like setting up the game and
hypothetically
but then if you don't know how to play,
don't worry, nobody watches this podcast anyways, you're fine.
Exactly, I think we're good. And I'm pretty sure Miyamoto watches this guy.
The one person that's watching right now is Miyamoto.
That would own. I'm just glad Reggie's not there anymore to crush me.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's
this new one has like 51 different games. It's got Nintendo characters that they've kind of thrown. I mean, just based off of like the information that they've put out there, it's got some Nintendo characters that they've thrown in there. It's 51 games on there, and I mean, it's I was not excited about this at all. I didn't play the original one, even though people kept talking about it.
Did you ever try Wii Play on the Wii?
Yes.
So I think I never played Wii Play, and I think that was like the successor there.
Yes, Clubhouse games,
But like Clubhouse games on the DS, for real, was fantastic. They just did a really good job of presenting these things, and now this new one, it's like, I don't know, it's even better, and I'm immediately getting back into the groove where I'm like, I'm trying to do the Renegade, which is it's like it's on the Go board, but like it's not Go, and you're flipping the Go pieces. Last night I was up to like 2:30 a.m. last night trying to beat the hard AI difficulty as I'm just going over and over trying. I'm like, okay, I'm learning the tricks. Okay, I see how it works. I see what I'm trying to get a little bit better, and I do that with every single one of these games that it presents to me, and it's just so. It's so surprising that like these really basic games can be so compelling. And it's like, is it just that I would like these games no matter what, or is Nintendo just doing? Does Nintendo have some magic that when they presents it to us, they can like do it in a way where it's like, here is here's the very basics of why these things are so compelling. We're just going to give that to you and really hit those home. And I don't know what it is, but I really, really am enjoying it.
Is it mid-June that's supposed to come out? Like second week?
I think it's the end of this month. I think.
Oh, May 30th. Okay.
I don't know.
Somewhere around there. But it Nintendo, we don't know we know what they kind of could be coming out with later this year, thanks to your efforts there, Jeff. You set fire to the internet that way with the Mario stuff. But the 100% stuff we know stops after Clubhouse games. We don't know anything else legit coming out after Clubhouse games. But you look at what happened with Animal Crossing, where it's basically the top selling Animal Crossing game of all time already.
Already. Yeah.
And the numbers they have after 2 weeks or whatever, after these first couple weeks are already like what they were anticipating for like lifetime sales for this thing. and it feels like Clubhouse Games is maybe not necessarily going to be as big of a hit, but
yeah, of course not.
They're stupidly lucking out on this whole situation where they're kind of done with their Netflix queues. And most people have finished up binging stuff and they want to kind of interact a little bit more. So you're getting board games, and Nintendo's bringing you 51 different stupid board games that you probably have lying around the house in some form or another, but it's got a Nintendo polish to it.
Yeah, and like people want stuff on their Switch anyhow, and it you know, it does have those multiplayer modes where like you could just put the Switch down in front of you and then play the touchscreen games, and you know, 2 players across from one another, you know, up to 4 players for some of these games.
This is gonna be I think it feels like this is gonna be one that people take their Switch with them to other folks' houses when they're breaking out of quarantine. So like, hey, you know what? I got all these games on my Switch.
Yeah, or like it's perfect. You know, in a world where we like went on road trips to go somewhere, if there was anywhere to go. Yeah. Like, you know, the kids in the back seat are going to pass this back and forth for hours and hours, and it's like they will not run out of games. I don't know. I'm very high on that. I was excited.
You're very high. So is Aaron right now.
Yeah. I'm very high, and I'm very high on this. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it looks. And again, everybody talked about that original Clubhouse games as like an uncut gem, an underappreciated gem of the DS era, and you didn't get another one for a long time, and now here it comes on Switch. They're, you know, Nintendo's second most popular console. Basically, it's within stone's throw of surpassing the Super NES or something crazy like that. So, or the NES. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I wasn't, but with things kind of being nice and dry right now, gaming wise, I'm kind of thinking maybe that'll be a good one to have for the family.
So is it just a straight remake, or are there some surprises?
No, there's more.
Yeah, it's like a follow up where it's not trying to be a remake of the original. It's like you know, if I'm trying to think of a parallel where like if Windows where they have the new Solitaire because there's a new version of Windows or something like that where it's not trying to remake Solitaire or whatever. But I'm sorry, like I don't know if you guys could hear it anymore, but the piano
only when you speak.
Only when you speak. Yeah, I figured that's what it was.
Cool. It's like Matrixy. It's auto-tuning Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. But so it has a lot of the same games, but also like from We Play, it has the tank game and stuff like that, and it has like darts. I think darts might have been in the DS version, but it plays differently now because it doesn't have the stylus.
Does it have shogi?
Yes, it does.
Sweet.
I haven't played shogi yet, but they've talked about it.
Switch, Aaron.
Right? They're like, that we have chess, and chess is similar to shogi because they come from the same base game or something like that. That's why they're so similar. Like, it teaches you trivia while you're playing this stuff. It's like anytime you finish a game, it's like here's some trivia or whatever.
That's cool. Great. That's it. Well, I've been playing something that doesn't have 51 games. That's 40 of them on there, and it's this little guy right here, the NeoGeo International. And let me tell you, a cool idea. Now there are some issues with it, obviously. First and foremost, it has a screen. I mean, it's got actually a really nice little LCD screen on there. It's got a stupid little controller. I'm showing you guys that you can scroll through the games there. Doesn't quite have the polish of like an NES, a Nintendo console, because Nintendo has that the way whatever Nintendo Magic did. Even the Genesis one was actually really nice. Problem with this is it's set up like this arcade unit. But the minute you unplug the USB cord from the back, it powers off because there's no battery involved. There's no battery inside. Anytime I see something with a screen, I think, oh, it's self-contained. But guess what? I take that battery, that USB stick or that USB power, and it's off. And so it's kind of a bummer. Now you can plug it into your TV as well, so it does function like one of those mini consoles. Having 40 games is nice. It's a lot of like King of Fighters 97, King of Fighters 98, King of Fighters 2000, so you know you get a lot of those games from the same series, but it's a fun little idea, and I guess that's maybe the best way to say it. It's a fun little idea. It was $29.99 when our good friend Wario64 tweeted about it. I bought it right away. And for $30, 40 games for $30, I'll play Metal Slug, Metal Slug 2, Metal Slug 3, Metal Slug 4, Metal Slug X, Metal Slug 5. And there's like, you know, half the games right there. But for $30, I think it's a fun little addition to my growing collection of these mini consoles. So doing that as well. And then I mentioned it before, but maybe last week's episode. But our friends at Velocilinx, who are a local Michigan-based company, who have started creating gamer gear, gamer equipment, sent over a bunch of stuff. They sent over their headset, and again, suspension headset I had never used before. And this thing is actually has a little bit of weight to it, but it feels lighter than the PlayStation headset that I'm using because of this suspension on top, which is kind of cool. They sent over their beautiful little mouse, and I'm holding these up to the camera. The mouse is kind of interesting. Everything has lights, glowy lights. But what really impressed me, something that I've never used before, and again, quality of these things they're not necessarily like ultra budget level gamer equipment, but the mouse is like $45 to $50. This keyboard is like $75 to $80, $90. The headset's not that expensive. They're really kind of just, I don't want to say basic, but they're true to what they're trying to be. They're not like the keyboard here, the blue Atomu springs, so it's actually got a really nice click and feel to it. It's not trying to be like a keyboard that you're going to be doing gaming with 1 minute and then like heavy Excel and Photoshop work the next minute, and you're not going to be changing the colors and the keys layouts and all that kind of stuff with little screens. It just meant to be sort of these pure kind of these really focused products, and I kind of like that. And the three of these things are probably total less than $200, and they're really nice quality. There's like this metal finish on there. So could you get better stuff out there? Yeah. Oh, for sure. You're willing to spend the money. You're gonna get some nice Razer stuff. You'll get some, other equipment. Scuff Gaming, I'm sure, has some stuff out there too. But
I thought we were talking about better stuff.
You're right.
All my Razer stuff.
Quality of these, for what you're getting, I think it's actually, it's funny. I never want to equate price to a product when I'm reviewing it. This is the first time that I think this is in the correct price range for this stuff. The only thing that bugs me is the font on the keyboard. They tried to go with a font that I never like fonts that go overboard with extra. It's like the Detroit Lions fonts over the years are never any good. My Lions, who did a wonderful job trolling everybody, all the other teams on their Animal Crossing video.
Great video.
Yesterday, which is so
nailed
cool.
that.
So the only thing that bugs me is the font, but it's my first time using like actual gamer centric stuff. I've gotten product stuff to review in the past, but it was like I have the Skull Candy Player One headset, and it's like, well, it's not a gamer headset; it's a Skull Candy headset. After I forget who was it they acquired for a while. Astro for a while there, and then I think they spun off. But so yeah, never truly had real gamer stuff. This is kind of the first dabble in, and I'm kind of liking it. I gotta say. So thanks to the folks for sending it over. You're getting exactly what you expect, and it's just nicer quality. It's nice quality. So, and that's all I've been fucking around with. It's been a week. It's been a week. But
if we're gonna do the news thing with me, let's do it, because I gotta.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's hop in the news. That way you can feed everybody.
I'll slam that right to the front then. First part of the story: EA's planning to release 14 games over the next 11 months, and the part B to that story is that new up and comer.
No, that's my name. Up and comer.
Jeff Grubb. That's your title. Change it on Twitter. Everybody kind of missed it, I guess, and you broke the fact that the secret HD remake that they mentioned that nobody realized is the Mass Effect trilogy.
Yeah, so this is this is something that I heard separate. This wasn't like in the call. This wasn't in the report that they gave. This is something that I've sourced separately. But they're definitely working on the Mass Effect trilogy remaster. It should be coming soon. They have other remasters that they are working on. What was that?
Dead Space. They gotta be doing. I mean, come on. It's like the easiest answer there.
They are. I haven't heard that, but they did Burnout Paradise Remastered. Now that the team that did that is maybe moving on to something else, another racing game. But there's probably going to be some space there before that comes out. So next up seems like it's going to be Mass Effect, and again, this is what I've sourced from people that would know. That's I think that's pretty exciting, but I also thought people would think that's pretty obvious. I was surprised at the reaction.
It does feel pretty. I mean, to me, it felt pretty obvious. I had been kind of wondering why it hadn't been announced.
I
thought it was actually like available already. You know, as a regular trilogy pack for all these consoles. Right?
I think you guys are underestimating how dead Mass Effect is to the average person after Andromeda. Yeah. But thanks to this is going to sell like gangbusters, and that means Andromeda 2, baby.
Man, what a disappointment.
Part C to that story is just something I want to throw in that I just added now because Jeff's actually with us before he leaves. I saw this follow-up on Reddit because I saw Jeff Grubb's name in a post title. Ooh. Everybody on Reddit is giving Jeff props. Got a guy here, who started it. Grubb has worked at VentureBeat for over 8 years, breaking various stories.
I saw this one too. I was like, wow. I didn't even know I worked there for 8 years.
A bunch of other people, they're like, yeah, Jeff Grubb's saying that the game is the Mass Effect trilogy. And then the final one, which has 5 upvotes, that title threw me for a loop. For the 3 other people who know the other Jeff Grubb, this isn't the fantasy author and later writer for Guild Wars 2.
That's great.
I should have known that was. I always wonder how many people think that the fantasy author Jeff Grubb is reporting video game news and breaking video game stories. I always think there's like a percentage that think that's what's happening.
I've known of that dude, if only because like I've known you for so long.
Right.
I had no idea that guy worked on Guild Wars 2.
Yeah. That's actually where I sort of met him. There was a really long line to meet him at PAX, and before that, this is like a PAX West forever ago. And he said, "Hey, come say hi. The other Jeff Grubb. We should get in the same place." And I'm like, I look at the line. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not waiting in that line. But I got a picture of him, and then I posted. I shared. He's like, "Hey, yeah, the other Jeff Grubb got a picture of me," and it was like, that sort of thing. But it was because he was there for ArenaNet and Guild Wars 2, and stuff,
right?
So, but I think he has not worked on that. Who knows? I think Guild Wars hasn't been a going concern for some time, so I think he hasn't worked in video games for a while. Just went back to writing books based on video games. It seems like so.
Like, hey, whatever works, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, make that money.
Gotta make that Skrilla.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a lot of sports. It's a lot of sports games for me. I was just gonna toss that in there since that was the start.
Here's the other, I think when those other Nintendo games are that EA is going to release, the other Switch games. I think the first one's Apex Legends, based on what I heard. Okay, so that one
was also sort of weirdly rumored a while back, right? Like they talked about that last year.
I think the Plants vs Zombies shooter as well, but I think Plants vs Zombies, I think they don't know, they really fucked that up, that release. Yeah. So I think they're like, let's definitely do Apex Legends, but we'll see about PvZ. So
well, it's just funny watching them with the various franchises, because they're like, oh, this thing's making a lot of money in microtransactions. Let's do it with this thing that has traditionally never really been microtransaction. Oh, nobody liked that. Nobody liked that at all.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. With that catalog that they have of Plants vs Zombies and some of those original games, what was the company that they picked up
PopCap.
There you go, PopCap. Why are none of those on the Switch? Which it really feels like a perfect console for
why wouldn't you put Peggle on the Switch a year and a half ago, 2 years ago?
Seriously,
people would every time you drop that game down to $5, another 10,000 people are going to buy it.
Literally.
Yeah, so just keep it on. It's insane that those games are.
Peggle is perfect on the Switch for the crowd that loves Fortnite on Switch. Is probably going to be picking up Peggle and Plants vs Zombies, that generation of PopCap games.
Peggle is so well loved and just mechanically enjoyed that some motherfuckers made a roguelike RPG.
Yeah,
based around Peggle, and it was not poorly received. Yeah,
it's well done.
Wasn't the Pong one, that's for sure.
No, yeah. Did you play Pong Quest?
I got a code for it. I haven't played it yet.
I got a code too, and I played it a little bit, and I think that game looks like butt.
I mean, listen, more power to them for doing what they want to do. I'm pretty sure that's one of those codes that we get at SQ, and every single person on the staff goes, "Hey, why don't you take it? Why don't you take it?"
And then JJ bought it.
I really like a good Pong game. I can never remember the name because I played there was a mini game in it called Triple Paddle, which was like a Pong with 3 paddles, and you played against someone else. It was part of a pinball game on the PlayStation 2, Flipnik, I think it was. And I played that game a ton. It was fantastic. And so I'm like, anytime I see a Pong game of any sort, I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot. But it's like, man, it looks like just looks cheap and bad. But maybe it's good. I don't know.
Pong needs like VR Pong with like a Tetris Effect style remake, and then you got it all set right there.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, you think that sounds like a good idea? I put a lot of time into that 3D Pong game that came out forever ago, like it was in the circle and he was going down a tube. That shit gets to your brain real quick.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. I've had some other stories recently. You guys want to go through any of those? Or?
Yeah, like.
I guess this one wasn't a story, but this is like the PlayStation event. Like I think Jason Schreier even said this today. But yeah, I think June 4th is what I heard. Okay. That's probably going to happen. It might get pushed back a little bit, but I think June 4th is pretty solid. Okay. And there's been other ones, but I can't even remember right now.
Again, it's not necessarily an event anymore.
The Nintendo Switch thing. Yeah.
If you want
Nintendo delaying there,
If you want a minute to think, here's a piece of breaking news.
Really,
Inuyasha is getting a sequel.
Oh, interesting. Inuyasha is getting a sequel.
Yep.
Interesting.
I pulled that one. I saw that right now. News broke like 4 hours ago. That fucking show came out.
It was not on VentureBeat, so it's not a part of our.
Yeah, no, so I cannot confirm.
It's actually a good. I want to mention a couple of, or ask this question because you mentioned the PlayStation event. You mentioned the Nintendo event, the stuff that's happening there. Microsoft is now doing their, and I don't know if you had this on your schedule to talk about, Aaron, but we're going through this whole new kind of weird era of product information reveals, right? Where even the companies that had all these plans don't have those plans right now because companies are, obviously you had platform holders like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and they typically have these big events. Where they're announcing a bunch of games all at once, and they got the third-party support coming in. And Microsoft, I think, did a decent enough job. Hashtag was it Gameplay Gate, the latest issue that they had there. But Microsoft did a decent enough job trying to sort of do a light recreation of what you would find at an E3 by announcing a few games and yelling out world premiere and things like that. But how do you think that stuff? I mean, the PlayStation event, we're going to see. Do you feel like we're going to see a bunch of third parties like Microsoft, or like I should say, AAA third parties, where Microsoft had maybe more of like the mid tier and indie stuff?
So yeah, real quick, that Microsoft thing. The more I've been thinking about it, the more I could see why this thing happened. I don't know. I don't know why it went first. They probably shouldn't have done it first, except for maybe it was like. So I think Microsoft wants to get all these companies to agree to do smart delivery, and I think that their bait there is if you agree to do smart delivery, we will put you on our show to promote you. Now EA obviously big enough to be like, no, we're still going to do our own thing. Okay, well we need Madden, we need something from EA. You're a good partner, so we'll put you on there no matter what. But everything else pretty much was like smart delivery. And I think they were like, do smart delivery and we'll promote you in your own Xbox 2020 event, basically. And I think they kind of got committed to that without being ready for any of their other stuff to come out. So this was the first thing. And this was always the date since January. This was the date for this thing. So I think they were just like, we have agreements in place. We got to make this happen. So we'll do it. There will be other Microsoft events that do have those bigger games. I think Sony, my hunch right now is that, for this June 4th event, there's definitely going to be AAA partners like EA and stuff like that. I think we'll see more games from them. And in equivalent, I bet Assassin's Creed will be there. I bet Assassin's Creed will be there as well. But I think this is going to be like, here's the system. It's going to be a lot like the PlayStation 4 reveal event, like the real one at that point. Where here are a bunch of games. Here's the system. Here's everything running. Here's Horizon 2, and it may be a tease for like the next God of War or something like that. That level of stuff, and it will be kind of all jam packed into one thing. And then going from that point, they will focus more on like, all right, now here's an update on that thing we talked about at that thing where we're going to go more in depth. But this is a blog post on the PlayStation blog, so I think it's going to be a much bigger thing for Sony than what we got today. Yesterday for Microsoft. Yeah.
It's really all these strategies are different, and you had Nintendo coming out during their investor relations say, everything's kind of tentative now for this year because we don't know what this work from home situation. They're not geared for it. They're definitely not geared. Out of all these, out of all three major platform holders, Nintendo's the one that is not developed, that's not set up for working from home. Sony at least has all the other studios. Microsoft does, not Nintendo.
Speaking of other things that Nintendo said on that call, Nintendo is vowed to make software more enjoyable and convenient online.
Good luck with that.
Man,
because they
imagine if Animal Crossing had good online.
Oh my
imagine
Lord.
that world.
Mm-hmm. Like imagine if I had my 393 bell.
It's too beautiful.
Turnips and
man, I gotta sell my turnips. Jesus.
Yeah, I had we did it for the first time. I had like almost 400 bells per turnip, and I thought let's open up the island a few folks.
No.
And holy cow, it's like someone's arriving, someone's leaving, someone's arriving, and it's
unplayable.
Imagine a world where AOC didn't have to publicly announce that her DMs were open because she wanted to go island hopping. Imagine that world.
Oh my Lord, yep.
All right, guys, I got to take off.
Thanks
for having me, though.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jeff.
Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. You guys have a good one.
Take care. All right. Peace out to Jeff. Now we can talk about Jeff.
Yeah. I got a couple more stories.
Yeah, let's do it.
Since we're right into the Nintendo stuff, here's the last Nintendo story technically that I have. Nintendo. So a bunch of enterprising fans made a remaster of Super Mario 64.
That's awesome. Yes,
they made a remaster of Super Mario 64 that runs on DX12, supports ultra widescreen and
4K
in 4K resolutions. And they just put it online. They was like, yeah, here. They're not, as far as I've ever seen, they're not trying to make any money off it. They're not doing anything. They're just like, hey, check this shit out. And Nintendo's got lawsuits on the go. They're DMCAing any website that's hosting it, which of course turns into the eternal battle of it's getting
Hydra.
Yeah, it's getting rehosted everywhere to get around that. Nintendo has to do that. You have to protect your active IPs.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
it's interesting to me because Jeff was there. The big rumor is that they got a Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario 3D World or Mario Odyssey. I'm sorry, not Odyssey. Mario Galaxy are like three big games that are getting these pseudo remasters or updates for the Switch in a collection of some sort, or maybe just individual releases. And Nintendo's going after their Mario 64, even though that IP has been, Mario 64 is popular, hasn't been released on anything in about 5-6 years. I think the Wii U was the last thing it was released on way back in like 2013, maybe. So it's been 6-7 years, somewhere around there. And that's been kind of sitting there without any updates. And so Nintendo's going full on this, and they don't always go this hardcore. Like, it took forever for them to get that sort of fan Metroid 2 remake taken down.
It took forever, but that was because we were, I think, or it seems like we were hearing about that remake for a long time before it was playable.
Sure.
And it seems like they went hard at that thing within a week of it being playable, and like, hey, it's on the internet, go ahead and get it. And all of a sudden Nintendo was all over that. This game happened, and they were like, yeah, you just download this shit. And now Nintendo's all over it. Speaking of which, you can still just download that shit. I'm not advocating for it, but I've seen a bunch of links for Mario.exe on a bunch of fucking Google Drive. You know what I'm saying? Just like, get out there.
WWW. Yep.
Anyway, I just think that's wild. Like, obviously Nintendo, like, they're gonna do what they're gonna do, but it's pretty crazy that somebody made a DirectX 12 PC 4K port.
And it's funny because it's the kind of thing that only happens with Nintendo.
Yeah.
Because if somebody went out and remade a high-end port of God of War 2, Sony wouldn't fucking care. No one might really care anyways, really. But it just feels like Nintendo, who is so hell-bent on protecting their IP.
4 days.
4 days all it took. Okay. So hell-bent on protecting their IP that they go, if I utter the word Mario 4K right now, this video is going down. Oh, that's it.
Bye,
we got
everybody.
Bye.
Quick, hide the logo. They want to know where we are.
That's Doug Bowser knocking on my door over there.
God, why did we let Miyamoto watch this show?
What else we got? What's that last story?
Let me see. It's not this one. TGS canceled. They're doing a digital event. I mean, that's
cancellations continue. Yep.
Cancellations continue. It's going to be on September 24th through the 27th. The only reason I thought I haven't really been including anything that gets canceled anymore because there's so much. This one I included because that's so far in the future that Like we were talking the other week.
PAX.
We were talking the other week about all the events that haven't been canceled yet, like Gamescom and PAX at the time, and
Gamescom is not canceled.
Gamescom is it now canceled?
Yeah, Gamescom is. Yes, they're going digital. Yeah.
Yeah, and now TGS is so.
And right between those two is the next biggest event, which is PAX West, and so now, like all the sharks are circling around there. I think again, was it you or somebody else that mentioned this is very much an insurance type of thing. If the city and the location can't host it, then they'll get their insurance. So they're holding out as long as they can, instead of them canceling it. So interesting, yeah. And
good. the longer they wait to cancel, the harder it is to refund.
Yep. So when do you think we'll actually have our next? And even by the way, Paris Game Week, which is in October, typically is also canceled.
Yeah.
When do you think is the next gaming event?
March 2021.
You think March? You don't think we'll have like PAX South in January of next year?
Oh, I forgot PAX South existed. No, I don't think so.
Yeah, you know what?
All this shit started kicking off. It ran right through April. I bet it'll be April. I bet they'll give it a year and change.
I don't think we'll have the Game Awards. I think it'll be live stream Game Awards.
Oh.
I think it'll be. That's a crazy one. That'll be Jeff Keighley standing in front of a green screen.
And Kojima.
And Kojima, yeah.
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart. Yeah, sorry. I'm wiping my nose right now. I'm not touching my face. Don't worry. My nose is part of my face.
I got 2 more stories.
Cool. Let's do it.
This one is just it is an article from Eddie McCooch over at GameSpot.
Now I'm cleaning my hands.
The title of the article is "Here's how much money Activision and EA make from microtransactions." I almost brought this one up earlier when we were talking about EA. I held off because I'm wild and eccentric. Activision Blizzard made $956 million in this previous financial year, or no, for the core, I guess. No, it was for their previous financial year, which ended March 31st. $956 million just off microtransactions. That's not all their game sales. It's just microtransactions. EA made a little bit less. They made $789 million. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
Just goes to show you, you market a game, design it right, and then the stupid kids will spend their parents' money buying microtransaction shit, loot boxes, baby.
And speaking of stupid children, here's my final story. Billy Mitchell is taking his Donkey Kong high score cheating case to court.
Oh, Billy fucking Mitchell! They got to make a sequel to the King of Kong. I had that movie, so I've lost that movie. I think I let somebody borrow it and it disappeared. I'll have to watch it again. That's fucking Billy Mitchell, guys.
Yeah.
It's a Billy, come on. You're the one. You and Miyamoto are watching the game watching this show together in your house. Billy. Bro. That's it. That's all I got to say. Well, there you go. That's all we both got to say. Because SideQuest is done. We've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes. Could you believe it? What the heck is wrong with this? We went longer than I thought. And we didn't have freaking Sam show up, or Tom, or JJ, or anybody. Rexley.
Nobody.
No one. Nobody. Forget y'all. We did this thing on our own, and we're happy about it. But we do love you all. Anyways, you're still part of the family. Hey, Aaron, where can we find you, bud?
You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at ScrattyBones. And
you can find me at Dolly Demofsky. And of course, at SideQuesting, yada, yada. We tell you guys every week. You know this. That's it. See ya. We love you. See you in the next episode of The SideQuest. Bye.
Oh, that was a show. I'm going to crack the bottle once more.